Oh my gosh, I've never been late, always early. Can you believe it? Everybody, welcome to the Buyers and Sellers Show. I just went live. I was sitting here working on it, thinking about what we're going to talk about. And then suddenly I realized something popped and I looked at the time. I think that can't be right. How about that? Anyway, welcome. And we're live. And if you were getting on earlier and thinking, where's Jay 5 minutes ago? Well, I was sitting here thinking about how do we make a good program that's extremely worthwhile and interesting for you. And you've got one today. Um, the title of the program is Don't Say Retire. You can only play so much pickleball. And this comes as a result of a long time of life experience, talking to other people, seeing how people act and react and what goes on, spending a lot of time doing different things in my own personal experience the last couple of years as I went through some of these things as well, and then with other people, my friends. And so many of you are of the same mind to want to think about that. And, it's like when someone talks to me and says, well, my wife, my boss, my company says I ought to retire. It's like, don't do it. It's a first slide into the grave. If for some reason you just need to do that, and I think about the old burials at sea. Remember that, the black and white footage of them sliding somebody first off into the ocean. Oh my gosh. Well, that's my vision. And simply not going to do it. Now, I do want you, as we're on here, because this is interesting, and I know some of you have thought about this. Others are moving into it. My introduction said some of you have gray, white, or no hair. Living in this world. Um, this is for everyone. And I don't care if you're in your 20s or 30s or 40s or 50s or 60s or 70s or 80s or 90s or hundreds. This is for everyone. And you're going to find something here today, some real good action items, some thoughts that I think will help you live a better life. Now, we call this the Buyers and Sellers Show. What's it got to do with buyers and sellers? Well, what's it got to do is that you can't buy or sell or do anything if you're not alive, if you're not here, or if you're not vital. I mean, you may be alive but not really doing anything, just in a funk. And that's no fun. That's not good in any way at all. And you know that. So let's talk about what we can do to get better. Now, have you heard this quote? Henry David Thoreau was famous for this. And I'm just going to put up a cool little thing here. It says, most men lead lives of quiet desperation. And then it says, and go to the grave with the song still in them. And I just want you to know, it's like, that has been a quote that I've listened to and thought about. And here's my reply. Not me. I'm going out kicking and screaming with a big smile on my face. So I don't know what your attitude is, but I hope you'll join me in this attitude. And if you're one of the people that retired and things are going great, it's like, I get it. It's just the word. A lot of people understand retire. You may have retired with plenty of time and money and cool things to do and everything, and you're living the life that I'm encouraging people to do right here. And for you, God bless you. Wonderful. Jump in there, testify to it. If you're someone who's retired and you're suffering from some of the stuff that I'm talking about, that's like not so great, then I'm interested in you paying attention. If you have any thoughts or questions, this is a good time to do it. Now, at the beginning here, I talked about, you can only play so much pickleball. And for you pickleball enthusiasts, hey, man, I think pickleball's probably cool. I haven't got a chance to do it. It kind of reminds me of combination of badminton and table tennis. And I know my sister loves doing it. It's part of her life and what she does. And she does lots of other things, and she still works and she does all sorts of things. And she's a good example of someone that is taking what she's got and making awesome of it. And so, Susan, if you happen to be listening, I love you and I'm proud of you. And I love your pickleball. And when I come to LA, I want to play pickleball with you. At the same time, she also hikes miles and miles in the mountains. She goes and sees her friends. She does all this stuff I'm getting ready to talk to, and she's still working. Now, all that keeps you alive and well and going. And that's the idea about this whole program, what I'm suggesting to you. So here we go. As we look at this, when you think about how lovely it could be to retire and rest, sometimes you don't realize that the rest can quickly become depression. And before you know it, you're not doing anything. I'm going to leave that up there for a minute so you can read it. At that point, nothing's happening. And you really wish you never quit your job or retired. Have you been there? Did you dream about how wonderful it could be? And then all of a sudden you got 6 months into it. And you said, you can only play so much pickleball or shuffleboard or fishing or whatever it is that you thought you were going to retire and go do. It was going to be wonderful. Well, it's going to be real important for you to listen up, because I'm going to give you some answers, some very specific answers and ideas on what to do as we develop this topic. And I'll say, hi, Michelle. This is my friend, Michelle Entree Hollis. And she says, love this. What an incredible topic. Glad you like it. Glad you're here, Michelle. So let's talk about the key to the successful life. Moving forward, after coming out of that long stretch career, or just looking in the mirror and wondering if you need to slow down, a lot of times the people that love you the most are actually, driving you down, and they don't even know it, because they say, wow, you've worked a long time, you got a lot of money, whatever your deal is, you should retire and take it easy. And that gets you thinking, well, maybe I ought to. Maybe I ought to just do that. Well, there may be some version of that to a certain extent that makes sense. We got to think about that, because what did I say? Retirement is just like a first slide into the grave. I mean, this is are you wanting to retire and get all ready to die? Is that the idea? It's oh, great. Now I got to prepare to die. Well, if you're lucky enough to have an early retirement, like in your 40s or 50s, oh my gosh, how disappointed will you be when you don't die? Well, or if you do retire in your 60s or 70s and you quit working and everything, it's guess what? What are you doing? What did this decision to stop and slow down lead you to? And let's see, there's a comment. Michelle says, they want more time with you, not necessarily for you to completely stop being productive. That's nice, Michelle. Thank you for that insight. That's very likely what your friends and family members are thinking when they're suggesting that you retire. So let's think about this. Here are some things you want to think about when this happens. First of all, how do you have a key to the successful life after that career and all that stuff? One is get up in the morning. Just get up in the morning. And these are going to go up here. You can write them down or come back and rewatch it. Number two, have accountability to others. Now, I've done a lot of this accountability stuff. I get it. I'm not talking about having accountability to others where they're checking in on you to make sure you got up, make sure you ate, make sure you took your medicine. Not that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you get up in the morning and whatever it is you've got to do today, other people are dependent on you to do it, or they're going to be disappointed, or they're going to lose some money, or bad things are going to happen to them. They're counting on you. So you put yourself in a position where you're helping others or doing something that other people depend on as part of a team. And that'll get you up in the morning. That will help you feel valuable and good. Here's another one. Have a sense of purpose and meaning for going on that's not about you. Think about that. And it's bigger than you. So I'm talking about this for the benefit of you and for the benefit of me. But now I want you to set yourself aside, however happy or sad you are right now, or when we're dealing with this. Just set yourself, oh, I'm so sad, I'm so tired, I'm so sick, or whatever I am. Just set that aside. Intentionally find something to do and get involved in something that's not about you, that doesn't kowtow to those problems that you got, the sadness that you're experiencing, all that kind of stuff. Literally compartmentalize it, set it aside, and do something and start getting excited about something that's not about you and is bigger than you. So we got some other comments. Randy, thanks for coming. By the way, Randy Chaffee, if you guys will look him up, find him on LinkedIn. He's got a great show, and LinkedIn and Facebook. I mean, he's out there, and I want you to look up Randy. Randy, would you mind, if you get a chance, type in the website that they should go to find out more about you and what you do. And guess what, everybody? He's invited me to be on his show, so we'll be taping that in a couple of weeks, and then it'll be broadcast, and we'll be sure everyone knows. So thanks for coming, Randy. So now let's look at these action items. Isn't that important? Let's look at the action items. Okay. And now remember, these action items are not to play more of this. Now, you got to get your exercise. I like walking the dog. In fact, we had a dog, then we stopped having a dog because after 16 years, he passed away. And for months we thought, well, we're never going to have a dog again. But we started having a dog again. We got a cool dog again. And we have to get up and walk him and do things like that. And it keeps you busy. I'll tell you what, during the 6 months that I didn't have a dog, I didn't get near as much exercise. So a dog is good for exercise. It's fun to have anyway. Let's see what other people are saying here. There we go. There's John Godwin. Happy Friday. Glad you're here, John. I think we'll be talking this afternoon. Looking forward to spending some time and getting to know you even better. This will be great. Okay, everybody, let's have some fun here. Action items to get you started on top of the world. Are you ready? Here we go. Here's what I would play. There we go. Here we go. Number one is visit a nursing home, assisted living, or similar elder care facility. If you're lucky enough to have someone that's actually living in one of those, it makes it real easy to go in and say hi and stuff like that. If you don't, find one, go in, say hi to the receptionist. Just walk around. If there's some way that you can actually go in there and shake some hands and see some people and just walk around. I'm not asking you to go there to get depressed. I'm asking you to just smile at some people and then take a look at it. One of the things that got me the other day was I was in an assisted living facility and I saw a bunch of people my age. And they were in another kind of a facility. It's a little better care. I mean, not less care, but more independent living. But they were my age. And that was cool. But boy, I mean, they weren't leaving the place. They weren't doing anything. They were sitting around playing games with one another, and that's it. Nothing else. And I thought, man, I'm sure I want to be doing this. I want to do some more stuff. So kind of that. They were doing what they wanted to do, but it kind of reminded me of where I didn't want to be unless I had to be. And at the same time, I sat down, played games with them, and had fun and made some new friends. And you can do that. And then they had a piano. And of course, I jumped over and played the piano. Why not? Play the piano, sing a song. If you got a piano, if you can sing a song, please do. Number two, Get a job. Get a job or start a business, not a hobby. What's the difference? You have to pay income taxes on a business that you start. I mean, it's like you make profit. If you go more than 3 years, it's definitely a hobby without making any money. So if you're just wondering the difference between a hobby and a job, I want you to become a buyer or a seller out there doing something that you know and love and you can help people with. And if you're wondering about what to do in that area, listen to my show last week that was all about how to make some money this year, what to do and ways to think about it and how to approach it. But get a job, start a business, not a hobby. There we go. Let's see what we got here. Oh, Keith, how about that? Done that. It's fun to give them something else to think about. They love it. Keith, thank you. I'm glad you've done that. Yep, you're right. You go to those places, it's a great thing for them and for you. And you're not going just for you. Now, here's another thing that you need. This is another action item. Join a weekly men or women's Bible study. And I say that meets at 6:30 or 7 a.m. I like that. You got to get up and get going kind of thing. And it just goes through the Bible chapters. It was like some people are in studies where you're reading a book, you're doing some other stuff. There's like assignments and things. That's too much for me. I want to go there. We're going to read a couple chapters. We're going to talk about it. We get there, we look around and say, hey, everybody, how you doing? What's up? Some weeks, the 4 or 5 or 6 of us start talking about whatever just happened the past week or day, or someone's got an issue they want to talk about with the group to get some help or some guidance or just someone to talk to. And before you know it, you never even got through the Bible study. That's okay. But it's a friend group. Is what it ends up being, a group of people that talk about stuff. And I always say, what's in the Bible study stays in the Bible study. It's kind of like Vegas. What a great group. Some of you may have other groups that you go to that serve the same function. This is just super valuable. You can't live this successful life in a vacuum. If you think you can go all by yourself through the whole thing and be all right, I just got to promise you, you're missing something big that will fill some holes maybe you don't even know you had. So what's the next one? Let's see. I want to see if there's any other comments here. There we go. Please feel free to jump in there and give me more comments, everyone. And like I said, Randy, if you're still there, jump in and give me your website. And I want everybody to know how to meet you and get into this. Look at this. Here's one. Mark Benner. Thank you, Mark. I'm glad you're here. He says, there's a quote by Hugh Hefner. Oh, look at this. Hugh Hefner says, I think that retirement is the first step towards the grave. That's great. Great quote. And I couldn't agree more. I always say retirement is a first slide into the grave. Don't do it. So great. Thank you for sharing that quote. Okay, let's keep going. We said number 3 was get a job. Number 2 was get a job. Number 3 was join a Bible study group. Number 4, show up to the next service opportunity at church to help others. And I say that, and it could be whatever church is for you. It could be Salvation Army. It could be, your mosque. It could be your whatever groups that you know about or that can become an opportunity of service for others. This is part of having value and a sense of like worth and goodness, and you find joy in giving outside of yourself. It's beautiful. And all of a sudden the aches and pains and other things begin to go away. It's wonderful. Let's see. And Michelle says, this is great. She said, I just met a woman yesterday who helps people create their stories and legacy for their family. It's really never too early to start that. Exactly. And she said, I love serving at my church. Yes, me too. Me too. And there's Sharon. Hey, Sharon Skinner Hoffmeister. Sharon, are you still broadcasting every single day without fail and adding up those numbers? I know somewhere along the line she's talked about taking a break, but she has broadcast for well over 1,000 times. So Sharon, let me know how many is it and how that's going for you. Okay, let's catch up. Service opportunities. Just do it. Here's a big one. It's give a significant amount of money to the charity you love and go be a volunteer too. And the verse I wanted to mention that's always in my mind, it says, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. That's in the Bible. Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. It's not the opposite. It's not where your heart is, there will your treasure be, but it's where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. And if you got something in mind you think is great and you want to be part of it and your heart's there and you love it, just start giving, regularly. $100 a month, $500 a month, $1,000 a month, $5,000 a month, whatever it is that's significant and makes a difference, or one-time gifts, and then follow up and continue to go and be part of it. And it's like the difference it will make for those people is out of this world. And for you, again, I'm back to doing all this stuff for others is really all about you and empowering you to live forward. You're trying to stay ahead of the Grim Reaper, right? We want to stay ahead of that guy and let him catch us from behind. There's no sense in relaxing and preparing for it like that. There you go. Let's see if there's some more comments here. And Sharon says 1185. Oh my gosh, can you imagine going live every single day, holidays, weekends, everything, for 1185 consecutive days? That's what she's at today. Congratulations, Sharon. Keep it up. And Michelle says that's a fantastic verse. It is. It is. So we got that one. Let's go to number 6. Everyone, these are real world things to do. Volunteer regularly somewhere that helps and serves people. I'm not even going to add to that. We're just going to say it again. Volunteer regularly somewhere that helps and serves people. I want you to get to the point where you walk in, they say, hi, Mary. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Dave. Hi, Keith. Good to see you. There's your apron. Go wash dishes or whatever it is. Glad to see you. Then that kind of becomes your family too, and friends. And it makes a difference. I know there's people watching right now that could testify to the truth of what I'm discussing. And there's some encouragement there. Way to go, Sharon. Absolutely. So, by the way, I just got 8 of them, so we're almost done. Are you ready for the next one? Take a chance. When the idea comes to your mind, do it. Listen to your Jiminy Cricket. Now, if you go to my website and click on the list that takes you to the YouTube catalog of everything, and I think you look up Jiminy Cricket or something, go down through some old shows a year ago or 2 or something. I did a show and I talked about Jiminy Cricket. Jiminy Cricket is that whatever God puts inside of you. I call it the Holy Spirit too, that gives you ideas and thoughts and puts in your mind stuff to do that's going to, be significant. It might be kind of scary, but it's like step out there by faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Have faith, step out there. Some people talk about blind faith. It's like, okay, I like the idea about blind faith. Just make sure whatever it is you feel like you're being led to do is really good and sounds good. Be careful about blind stepping out there. But you step out in faith, listening to the urgings of your Jiminy Cricket, the Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call him, that's leading you to do good things. And that might be standing at the counter in the store and some lady's right ahead of you and she's got tons of kids and she's got her groceries and she adds them up and you're looking and you're going, oh my gosh, and it's just like, these people probably could use some help. Then just before she pulls out her money or a credit card or anything and they total it up, just say, excuse me, and go there and stick your credit card in that machine for her, just like that. What are you doing? I just want to pay. I just want to pay for this. Love you. God loves you. Oh my gosh. There you go. Oh, it's thankful. Nothing in return. They don't need to know who you are. You just do it. They're so happy. Just go. It's all right. Praise the Lord. That's what you do. You just think about it. Or someone's like, sometimes there's beggars on the street, and you just, I do. Sometimes I just walk by. I think this is not right. I don't have any sense that I want to give or do. On the other hand, there's certain ones in certain situations that I want to pull out some money and give it 10 or 20 or who knows what. There's some guy on Instagram, I think it is, that he's always doing something with someone on the video, and when they respond in a beautiful, unselfish way, he gives them $1,000. How cool is that? This is all good stuff. Give. It looks like there might be some more comments. Terrell, welcome, Terrell. And let's see what he says. He says, great advice, Jay. I know Terrell's a giver too. We are changing the world one life at a time. Why waste the wisdom we have gained over the years? Exactly, Terrell. Thank you for joining us. Okay, I promised you there was 8. What's number 8? How about that? Here we go. Make up your own action items and try them. The only rules are they must be outside of serving yourself, a stretch emotionally, financially, and time-wise. The only rules are this needs to be outside of serving yourself, a stretch emotionally, financially, and time-wise. And I promise you, great things can happen. So what's the answer to all this? I'm going to go back up here and recap what we talked about. Don't say retire. I kind of smile. You can only play so much pickleball. Although I'm looking forward to my first pickleball experience. If there's anybody in Indianapolis that plays it, call me and I'll play pickleball with you. I want to do it. But understanding that this idea of retirement can be kind of a negative thing if you're not careful. You need to get up, do stuff that other people are counting on, have a sense of purpose and meaning about what you're doing. Then it's got to be not about you and about serving others. We went through the action items. You can replay. There's 8 good action items. And I just want you to enjoy this list. And don't just think about it. Do it. Do it. Get out there and plow ahead into your 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s. Great things will happen. So that's what retirement is about in my mind. When I talk about it, I don't even like to use the word. Do you have any other thoughts or comments? Because I'm going to wrap up now. This has been a great time together. A lot of people came on board. I don't even have to hope that this was significant or gave you something to think about. I know it did. If you want to get in touch, there's my information. J@thejskinner.com. There's my website. Click around. You'll find some cool stuff. And I want to say Happy New Year. Glad you came. And please come back again next Friday. Same time, same channel. That'll be 10:35 every Friday morning on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. We'll see you next week. Thanks for coming. Bye now. See you next week. Thanks for coming. Bye now.